Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please, no flash photography. What's up? It's your boy Matt Solnick back with maybe his third video of the year. I'm a dairy farmer and I'm going to take you through my process of making this video for an organization called WAWO. We are women owned. How I acquired client, project outline, filming, post-production, lessons I learned. Number one, how I acquired clients, much easier than I thought it would be because of the work I put in before at the agency, plural shout out, where I met a lot of people, worked with a fashion client, Ellie Tahari, and on set at a lot of the Ellie Tahari shoots was incredibly talented, hardworking Audrey Kate, everybody. Simply Audrey Kate. She actually reached out to me through Instagram because she had been seeing the work I was posting. 2 years we haven't really worked together, and was like, give me some of that. It's really important that you post on your personal or have a specific Instagram for the content you're making. Any person who sees it is a potential person that's going to refer you to somebody else, or suddenly they have some project of their own that they want to shoot. Your Instagram is going to act like your portfolio. This is a really awesome organization called We Are Women Owned. They are a women's organization, as you might assume. They communicate to each other and can kind of give each other tips and share the entrepreneurial experience, which is often very lonely, especially being like a woman business owner. So there's a whole photo shoot going on. I'm supplementing that with video. The deliverables we came up with are 3 video concepts. Each concept has 2 different aspect ratios. 9:16 for Instagram Reels, and 2:3 for Pinterest, and 16:9 for YouTube. 6 total deliverables, 3 concepts, 2 aspect ratios each. In terms of the project outline, it's a bit of a process. And it's my job to help clarify things for both parties. What is going to happen, what's expected, all that stuff. Here's another thing that's really important to clarify in pre-production. You've got a video concept, but you want to create multiple versions of it so that it resonates on different platforms. You get much more bang for your buck if you have one video concept and you can make a good YouTube version of it, a good Instagram version, a good TikTok version. Because they're thinking it's 3 videos, but really it's 3 videos times basically 2. So I look at what they're asking for. I think about all the deliverables. I think of potential revisions that'll be needed. What is their budget? What is their organization? How much time is this all going to take me? I take all that into account and then I give them a price. Since I started freelancing, getting away from hourly rates has been maybe the most important decision I've made. You don't want to have a single price that is just kind of like your rate card that is go-to, because Honda could be like, hey, can you make our new logo? And you'll be like, sure, they'll be 25 bucks an hour. And then it takes you 2 hours to redesign. Like, it makes no sense. Production. I'm keeping in mind the deliverables I have, which some are horizontal, some are vertical. I've gotten very experienced at this, which is being able to shoot in a way that you're gonna capture for both. I do a lot of framing in the center. I give a little bit of extra space sometimes because you want to be able to capture things in a way where there's flexibility in post for you to kind of work things out for both aspect ratios. Shout out Aggie Bazaz, my film professor, for saying you learn to edit by shooting and you learn to shoot by editing. Decorum on set, which I learned a lot from my former boss Daniel. If he was on set and like things were going well and he had extra time, he's happy to like go get coffees. He always said, I'm not gonna make you do anything that I wouldn't do too. And so I'm trying to be as helpful as possible. As long as I'm taking care of my responsibilities, I'm making sure everybody feels comfortable, I'm making sure that I'm like exuding positive energy. The worst thing you can do on set is be negative. It's such a buzzkill and the content comes out worse, I swear. As I'm filming, I'm also noting just mentally, when am I getting good shots? There's like a scene with like a little bell. There's a scene where I kind of created this guy out of baby clothes. It looks kind of like a little baby. And I didn't have a shot list when I went into this, but ideally, if you're going into something, especially when there's products, it's good to see the stuff ahead of time and talk with your client about what are the priorities, what's going to be the most important thing for you to capture. As I'm filming and on set, this is also one of the key times where you can get new clients. So I'm trying to talk to everybody, especially being the youngest person on set. Almost every single time, it was very intimidating at first. And you just have to go in, maybe this was a self-confidence thing on my own part. You just have to go in and assume everybody's a fan of you and everybody likes you. But meeting all of these women who are entrepreneurs and like a lot of them have their own businesses, I met Yumi, who immediately like we clicked and she wanted to do social content, and then I got lunch with her and we're gonna do videos later. Get your shit done, but also make sure you're talking to everybody, not just to get business, but because it's the nice thing to do. This comes to maybe one of the most important things about the shoot that day. The founder of We Are Women Owned, Lisa, was on set that day. Her mom had died earlier that month and she was clearly not having a good day. She's trying her best to not break down on set. Everybody was picking up on it, but I asked if she wanted to reshoot a different day. Free of charge, let's do this another day. If it was like a bigger company where it's like the person who I'm interviewing and rescheduling, it's like not directly their money, maybe I would have charged, but this is much more of like a startup. It's a great organization. It's her organization. It's like coming from her pocket, basically. Empathy is a very important thing to have, whatever field you're in. Unless you're in like a field of like executioner or something, then empathy is probably not going to help you. Luckily, I haven't had to execute anybody in like years. Post-production, right? I've incorporated having assistant editors in my workflow. And so this was a project where I delegated a lot of the editing to somebody else. So shout out to Krystyna Ursta, who is incredibly talented editor. Now, mentoring is also a really important part of what I care about because I felt very alone in the process of learning how to make videos for social media. So I want to help other people with that. Krystyna's more experienced than me though, so I'm not mentoring her. She knows her shit. Like she's done this longer than me. So I want to set up assistant editors for success in terms of helping them with the process of editing, as well as making it very clear what is being asked of them. How can they accomplish it? Having assistant editors also can make your content better because in more traditional filmmaking, you don't want like one cook necessarily for everything. You don't want somebody who wrote the thing, also shot it, also edits it, also maybe acts in it. When I went in and I shot some of these clips, I have an emotional attachment, and maybe they're not the best thing to keep in. If I have an assistant editor, they are going to be detached emotionally from the clips that they're seeing, and they might be able to make a better judgment call than even me about what should be kept in. Asset management. Whew. Big detail to have consistent across all assistant editors that you work with, as well as just for yourself. You gotta know what's the structure of your folders. So I went ahead and took what I know are some of the better shots that I got. I'm already picking the clips for them, and they don't have to go through all of the footage and spend all that time trying to find the needles in the haystack of my clips. I will admit, I'm not perfect. I do have ADHD, and I'm trying to not be limited by it. However, I did scroll past some clips accidentally, and then I left out certain selects that would have been helpful. I'm not perfect, and I make mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, and I felt that. And then also, I acknowledged that. I told her, I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not setting you up for success. She was like, shut the fuck up, it's fine. As a manager, I'm trying to give the assistant editors as much information possible about my expectations, client expectations. Just give them as much ammo for them to make proper decisions as they're going ahead and not have to ask questions. Sometimes if they ask a certain question, that might mean that it was my fault for not clearing it up ahead of time. Just taking as much responsibility for preparing them to do well, to do battle properly in the field of Premiere Pro. I explained video 1 is product focused and behind the scenes montage. Video 2, it's more lifestyle. It's similar to the deliverable list from the beginning, but it's got like a few notes that just help the editor visualize it more. I gave examples of videos that I had done to show like this is the style of what this should look like. I want them to inject their own ideas, but I do want them to edit in the style I would edit. Since we have 2 aspect ratios, I only wanted her to create 1 cut first, because you send it to the client, then they confirm these are the visuals that are locked in, they're good to go, and then you create the other aspect ratios. Because if you edit something and you create like 5 different aspect ratios of it, and then they're like, oh, I actually don't like that one clip, you have to go back to 5 different versions and edit, and then edit, and then edit, and then edit, and then edit. I created the Premiere file, I created a sequence folder. In that sequence folder, I created a select sequence, and I also created audio folder, footage folder, and then with the footage that's in there, I create proxies. Proxies are like a lower resolution, shittier quality version of the footage you shot. It's easier to send over, your computer works faster with it, and then you can do your edits, and then you just click a button and it swaps your proxies for the original footage, the bigger files, the high quality stuff, and all of your edits are done, and it's high resolution, and you didn't have to deal with the editing, processing power of these like big, massive, throbbing clips. I had to, come on. I send her the proxies and the Premiere file. She opens up the Premiere file, she attaches proxies to the footage, because on her computer, it's like, I understand there was footage here, but where in the computer is the footage? So she has to basically say, this downloaded folder of proxies is where the footage you're looking for is. She reattaches the proxies. It says, we're missing the original high quality footage, and she says, ignore that. Then she just edits on the proxies. She'll send me her Premiere file back. I've got the proxies, I got the high quality footage and everything. So then I just click a button and it takes all of her edits and swaps it with the high quality stuff. For music, I gave her access to artlist.io. It's the music service I use. Wish it was sponsored, maybe one day. Here's her first cut. Notice the praise I'm giving. She did fucking kill it. And I told her. I said, you're a great editor. Because she is. Let me tell you all the things I appreciate about this edit, because I think it's important to call out the successes one has, especially when they're like independent decisions. What I love about what she did here is she's utilizing the horizontal space, and she created collage with different colored backgrounds that are the same colors as the different colored paper in the actual shoot, which is a mix of the concept that I showed her in my example of kind of creating collage by cropping video differently, especially horizontal video, to conform it to vertical in an interesting and stylistic way. But the way she's like changing colors on the beat and stuff is just very interesting, and it takes the collage idea I had to a whole different level, honestly. Great use of matching momentum here. She took this spinning clip that I had and matched it to another spinning clip. Upwards motion to the upward motion of the camera. I gotta say, she's the most experienced editor I've worked with, and usually you have to direct that stuff way more, but she just like knew it. Oh, that's another thing that I do. Some of it might have been her own intention. If not, then it was like great use of copying my style. I like to have close-up clip filling up the background, and then I make it black and white so that the front video pops. I was so happy with this because it really felt as if like I edited this, which is like what I'm trying to get towards. I'm trying to level up assistant editors so that I don't have to edit as much and I can focus on getting more work for everybody, because also I get distracted at home when I'm editing and it's not as productive as I'd like. So then I gave just a little bit more feedback. The audio ended a little bit weird with a repeat. Make it a little bit more product focused. Here, I failed there. The videos that I forgot to give her in the selects, a lot of them were product videos, so that I take responsibility for. Video 2, I want to highlight the founder a little bit more, give the final clip a little bit more end time. A lot of times in editing, especially for social media, you're so used to fast pace that you don't let things breathe when they have to, and I felt like the video needed to breathe a little bit more at the end. Overall, great job with this edit. Anyway, moving on to lessons, because it's important, I think, to recap. I learned something on every shoot I'm on. I think the most important thing about this shoot was with Lisa, whose mother had just died, and how I handled that, because I think the human element of production is really important, and just being a good person, like making the world a better place. You can Google your Premiere tutorials, but the non-technical side is stuff that you won't necessarily be prepared for because it's not really highlighted in, I don't know, career talk around filmmaking. And it's not specific to filmmaking, it's just like generally in life. Compassion and just like trying to pay attention to other people is important. That is something I'm trying to do on this channel. I want to have some freaking values because I got some shit to say. And so on this channel, I got some shit to say, and I want to set a better example and talk about not just the technical side, but I think the values and ethics that one should bring into their career, but also life. So if you're interested in that shit, in that good of being good, oh, that was cheesy. I try to be ethical. That being said, subscribe. Like that video! Smack that like button! I need food. I'm going delirious. Here's a video. It probably popped up a little bit before, but go click on that and make sure to check me out on Instagram because that is where most of my consistent stuff is. Thank you for coming along. My name's Matt Solnick, and I hope you learned a thing or two about dairy farming.